Welcome to Meaningful Mondays with the Community Foundation of Middlesex County, where we only know good people who do great things in our community. Whether you are a volunteer, a donor, or a nonprofit organization, each episode of Meaningful Mondays will celebrate you, our friends and neighbors who have a deep passion for and commitment to improving the quality of life for all in Middlesex County. So let's kick off the week with great conversations with remarkable people, businesses, and nonprofits making a difference right in our own backyard. Well, good morning, everyone. It's a meaningful Monday every Monday in Middlesex County, but this one is particularly exciting for me because the lady that I have with me, Carolyn Lyle from Old Saybrook, has a cape. You can't see it. You just don't know that it's there, but we at the Community Foundation of Middlesex County think she's pretty special and a Wonder Woman. So let me introduce you, Carolyn, and I want you to brag about what you've done with SOS Trees. It's your turn to brag. You've done a phenomenal job. Tell us what the goal is. Tell us how you got started. Tell us who your partners are, and just run with it. So go for it.
All right. Well, thank you very much for having me and for your focus and interest on trees. The SOS Trees, which is what I'm a chair of, and with me and another woman founded, means Save Our Shade. Our vision is to build the dwindling, constantly challenged and threatened tree canopy in our town of Old Saybrook. We began this discussion on the social media app Nextdoor, and people were entering comments about the trees that they see downed by neighbors, by businesses, and trees that were disfigured by utility companies. So of that conversation that lasted maybe a month, there was one woman by the name of Sharon Crockett who had a personal story about her Copperwood Beach. So she and I met and we just lamented about the tree canopy. And I, in the meantime, did some research about our tree canopy using the USDA, United States Department of Ag, iTree tool, and it was shocking to see that the Old Saybrook tree canopy was the lowest on our neighboring shoreline and the second lowest in Middlesex County. So our fear and our observations were even more cemented in our minds. So we decided to do something instead of complain, and we found an organization in Madison called Mad for Trees. And in our research for Mad for Trees, they decided that they wanted to plant trees. So our mission is basically to plant trees.
Well, let me interrupt you for a second because I love your comment about instead of just complaining, we decided to do something. I mean, I think if we all took that to heart, the world would be a much better place. So thank you for reminding me that that's what we should do every day. Do something instead of complain.
Well, and I wasn't alone in my lament of the Old Saybrook tree canopy.
Right.
And that's the benefit of social media when you can't really strike a conversation up in the grocery store where people are commenting about a topic that's near and dear to your heart. So it's very helpful for everybody. So our mission was to plant trees. We were losing trees, and we decided to follow the footprint of Mad for Trees model, where they raised money and they gave away trees. So we met with Fran Brady, who is the chair of that organization. He's the Madison Conservation Commission former chair. He gave us some really good ideas. And one of them is how we ended up partnering with the Community Foundation. What Mr. Brady told us is that instead of becoming a 501c3, because we wanted to raise money, we wanted to give it away trees. He said, try to be a component fund, which I'd never heard of that term, with another foundation. So I knew about the Community Foundation. I was a former resident in Middlesex County. And we also, one of our first supporters was Nancy Bell, who
Oh,
knows the
a
Community
good friend
Foundation.
of the Community Foundation.
Yes. So, and another person that was familiar with the Community Foundation was Bonnie Penders.
Of
Uh,
course.
so it was a no-brainer to contact the Community Foundation. And so that's how we became a field of interest component fund of the foundation.
And let me just stop you there
Sure.
because I think it is important, and thank you. You don't have to, well, let me stop there. It's tough to run a 501c3. There's a lot of backroom work that needs to happen, and you sometimes lose focus on what you are trying to do by doing the backroom stuff. The Community Foundation, it's a little commercial for us, is here to support folks like you who have big hearts and want to do something that's good. And we are the ones who do all the backroom stuff. So we just love doing that and supporting you.
Well, that was a huge uh, find for us. And both you and Thayer were so excited. And I thought, wow, there's more people outside of Old Saybrook that are very excited about this. So it was a huge impetus for us. So we began to raise funds. We met with the town and the Conservation Commission. The chair of that is Chris Picklow, and she was extremely supportive, as was the town. And they turned us on to Sustainable Connecticut.
Great. A good partner in a lot of ways for a lot of our towns in Middlesex County.
Right. So through their arm of an organization called Patronicity, we did a crowd fund match and raised enough funds to give away trees. In our most recent tree experience, we gave away 50 trees on April 27th. And it was so exciting because people were coming by to pick up their tree. Well, you can't just pick up a tree. And I have to do a shout out to the First Church of Christ Congregational in Old Saybrook. We took over their parking lot for 6 hours on the 27th.
Oh my
And
gosh.
people that had registered for a tree came and picked up their tree. We bought the trees from a local wholesaler who went above and beyond. And that was just an awesome experience.
Well,
And just was so much fun.
but you know what? You went from 0 to 100 in like lightning speed, but in between there were lots of little details that happened. So, and Thayer and I know about all those details because you were so good to keep her in the loop, and of course she keeps me in the loop. So to go from 0 planting one tree to 50, and I think actually wasn't it 53 that you gave away your first
Oh,
time?
no, you're right. You're right. We gave away 53. There were 3 extra trees, and these were beautiful trees. These were dogwood, serviceberry, basswood, and oak trees. And so we had 3 extra trees, and there were people that drove into the parking lot and wanted a tree. And we said, sorry, we can't give you a tree now, but we can give you a tree in the fall if you fill out this form. And so that's how we gave away 3 more trees.
You're also a resource for everyone because doesn't your website or don't you have directions on the care of trees? Tell us more about that because you don't want to just have somebody adopt a tree and then not know what to do with it.
Correct. Well, we want to keep our eye on the prize, and that's build the Old Saybrook tree canopy for all the reasons trees benefit our community, our health, and our future generations, and really the existence of our planet. So we wanted to keep that in focus. So when we when we gave away trees, the person that got a tree had to commit to reading the literature. A lot of that literature we got from adfortrees.org. We got it from Connecticut Deep. And we also have some master gardeners on our committee. We have over 50 people that have signed up to support SOS Trees just as a community.
That is fabulous.
Yeah, we get about 16 people showing up at our monthly meetings. So it was important that we give them the resources, how to plant, how to water, how to mulch, and how to care for your tree going forward. And we wanted to see that written commitment and the location, because we stressed upon them that the goal is to build a tree canopy. And to build a tree canopy, you have to put the right tree in the right place. And we want to make sure they care for it. We talked about, oh, they're our adopted tree family and our family of trees, and we didn't use any of those words, but we decided that we really wanted to impress upon people. I hope you love this tree
Exactly.
for its life and for your life. So
Well,
that
I'm impressed that you actually, don't you have a pledge that people, do they have to sign it?
yes, they do, and I have to do a shout out to Mad for Trees, because Mr. Brady on Mad for Trees, we modeled our pledge after his pledge, and that was, we hadn't thought about that. It was, how are we going to commit people to doing the right thing with the right tree in the right place? But we also had the input from our members, who really wanted to make sure that we were serious about the tree, that it's really about the tree. It's not about beautifying your yard with the tree. That's a nice thing to do, but it's about caring for the tree for the whole community.
Absolutely. I live in Essex, and I don't know if you know cross lots in Essex, but the dogwoods, there's a whole field of dogwoods, and there's nothing more pleasurable than driving by that on to and from work and seeing that. So yes, they not only do they help us, but they also give us a lot of pleasure.
Right. Yep.
So what is your ultimate goal?
Our ultimate goal is our long-term goal is to qualify Old Saybrook to become a U.S. Arbor Day Foundation tree city. And there's 4 components to that. It's to celebrate Arbor Day, to have a budget that is dedicated to trees and tree stewardship, to have a tree committee or a tree board, and to also put in place an ordinance. So that's our goal. We have publicized that. You had asked earlier how we went from 0 to 100. Well, it's really talking to everybody and their brother.
And I know you did, because Nancy Bell kept me in the loop on that one.
And we were clear with the town and the town selectman, who also was supportive, on we want Old Saybrook to be a place where trees matter.
Right.
And so USA Arbor Day Foundation has a good model and a good system for that. And there's over 20 USA Arbor Day Foundation tree cities in Connecticut.
And if I'm not mistaken, isn't Middletown one?
Yes. Yes.
And I think you've met who we affectionately call our tree fanatic, Jane Harris.
Have not met her. She and I had an email exchange early on our planning. She was very gracious and really excited about, let's get together. And that has yet to happen, but I plan on getting together with her and getting some ideas, because there's becoming a USA Tree City is really important. However, it's also important that we have infrastructure with regards to zoning board of appeals, planning, inland wetlands. Those are all supportive infrastructure analyses and reviews we need to look at. And so there's more. We need to be a Tree City USA. We need to do an ordinance, and we need to make a stewardship plan so that public and private lands are subject to stewardship, not necessarily regulations, but stewardship. But there are regulations with inland wetlands. So yes, there's more to do.
Well, and thank you, because so often we do a scattershot approach to things, and you are taking the ready, aim, fire approach and understanding the guardrails that need to be in place to succeed. So, and what's your background? Because this is fascinating. You've gotten all of these things, you know so much about trees. You've really managed to pull off a wonderful thing. How? Where?
Well, my background is civil rights.
Okay.
I started, oh wow, I started that right out of graduate school. I'm a, I, I started a lot of offices in healthcare, government, and private industry. I started offices of diversity, EEO, affirmative action, justice. I started those kinds of offices because of my commitment to really civil rights. So this is just transferring that commitment to trees and the environment. So that's where it started from.
My gosh. And have you always been into trees? If I put that in air quotes, into trees?
No, really, not really. I mean, it's really climate change. And after I retired, I worked for the Sierra Club, and I helped in the Commonwealth of Virginia. I was a volunteer for the Sierra Club, and I actually wrote their diversity and equity plan. But I also was tuned into the challenges of fracking, the challenges of oil pipelines in Virginia. So I got involved with environmental issues with regards to fossil fuels and climate and global warming. And at that point, I was exposed to the destruction of trees for fracking and for pipelines. So that got my interest here.
So as you're speaking, I'm thinking two things, and I'll ask a two-pronged or two questions. So one, what advice would you give to somebody who has an idea, who has a partner, as Ms. Crockett is, in getting something going? Because sometimes we get overwhelmed with, oh my gosh, all the details, how am I going to get it done? So that's my first question. So you can answer that. Well, I try to remember my second question, to be honest.
It's the what's in it for you, what's in it for the community. So when I realized that through the data that the tree canopy in Old Saybrook was so low, and that trees were continuing to be cut down, then I had to sort of tell the story of what this means to you as a community resident. And Sharon was a great partner because she had personal experience with her own trees. I didn't have quite that experience, but it's a marketing, what's in it for you, what's in it for the community. And if you can tap that, you will get, and you explain what's in it for you and the community, then that's how I think we've attracted so many more people.
Right.
Everybody shared the same story.
Right. And it's the we, not just me. So, well, and both actually.
Right.
And okay, you gave away 53 trees. That's wonderful. So taking a little break in the summer, what's going to happen in the next couple of months?
Well, we have a challenge from our first selectman to find public property that needs trees. So we are meeting in 2 weeks about that. One of our committee members has a map of all town properties. I have a literal book of all town streets. And as a group, we are going to suggest properties that the town can plant trees. So I'm really thrilled that the first selectman is willing to partner with us in getting more trees planted in the fall. We also we're going to target businesses that can use trees, but also want trees. Right. So we're identifying potential recipients.
And you've used the word all throughout our conversation, partner. I think that's one of the key things that we at the Community Foundation find, that you can't do it alone. You do need partners. And I love your concept of asking people what they're going to, or telling people what they're going to get out of it and what it means, so that they can become a partner of yours and not just pushing people into doing things.
Right.
Plans for the fall?
Well, we are going to schedule a fall giveaway. The good news is we have some funds, but we need more funds. So we'll always ask people to donate for this cause that will help them and help others. So our fall is to do another giveaway of trees.
So let's do a shameless plug for you. So if I wanted to, after listening to this and our conversation, and I'm passionate about trees, or I just became passionate about trees because of your willingness to go out there and do what you're doing, how am I going to donate?
Well, our website, www.sostrees.net, has a donation menu at the very top of that website.
Okay.
The Community Foundation of Middlesex County is where those donations should go to. There is a QR code that you can donate directly to the foundation, or you can send funds to the foundation. So that information's on it. We also have a Gmail account. If you want to ask me, or why I answer the Gmail account, how to donate, happy to work with someone individually. And that's SOS Trees 06475@gmail.com.
All right, let's repeat that though. So let's give your website and your Gmail account, because we do want people to take this seriously and help you out.
Yes. The website is www.sostrees.net. Look for the donation tab, and the Gmail is sostrees06475@gmail.com.
My gosh. So what are you looking forward to other than SOS Trees over the next coming months?
I don't know. I'm so focused on trees. I'm looking forward to seeing more and more trees. I'm looking forward to the summer, looking forward to my family visiting us in Old Saybrook, looking forward to some trips with my husband, and just really getting outside.
Great. Well, Carolyn, I can't thank you enough for what you're doing and beautifying not only Old Saybrook, but also beautifying all of our souls, because trees are so special. So I hope everybody will donate to SOS Trees, and let's get you to that point where you are a tree city. I'm sure I didn't say it right, but we're rooting for you. So thanks for being with us. And that's a meaningful Monday if I ever heard one. So thank you, Carolyn, for what you're doing.
You're welcome.
Thank you for joining us for this week's episode of Meaningful Mondays. At the Community Foundation of Middlesex County, we know that philanthropy matters and philanthropy works. Together, we support the arts, education, human services, animal welfare, the environment, heritage enhancements, and so much more by providing services, programs, and grants to our local nonprofits. We invite you to learn more and share your passion with us. Visit us at middlesexcountycf.org or contact us at 860-347-0025. Together we can make great things happen.